You ever stop and think about what's actually holding the internet together? I mean, what turns a simple text file into the vibrant, interactive websites we use every single day? Well, it's not magic. It's actually a universal blueprint, a kind of secret language. And today, we're going to decode it.
So what is this hidden code? This thing that builds everything from a simple blog post to a massive company like Netflix? Well, the answer is the very foundation of our entire digital world.
Okay, so picture the early days of the web. The big problem was pretty simple, right? How do you get millions of totally different computers, all using different web browsers, to agree on how to show the same information? The solution had to be a universal set of rules, a common language that every single machine could understand.
And that solution is what we call a markup language. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like a blueprint for a house. It doesn't physically build the house itself, but it gives the construction crew super detailed instructions on where the walls go, where the windows go, all of it. And in this digital world, the instructions are called tags, and they tell your web browser exactly how to build the page you're seeing. And these instructions, these tags, they control literally everything you see. They tell the browser, hey, make this text bold, or put this image right here. They're responsible for creating links to other pages, for defining what's a main heading versus just a regular paragraph. Every video, every piece of audio, every visual element is put in its place because of these rules.
So the original and still the most important of all these blueprints is HTML. That stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It was developed by Tim Berners-Lee, who took an older, way more complicated system called SGML and basically simplified it to create a really effective way to structure documents for this new thing called the web.
The absolute fundamental building block of HTML is the tag. If HTML is the blueprint, then tags are all the specific notes written on it. Stuff like, this part is a heading, or start a new paragraph now, or hey, stick a video right here.
And what's really cool is that these instructions all follow three pretty simple rules. First, most tags act like containers. They have an opening tag and a closing tag that kind of wrap around the content. Second, you can modify them with things called attributes to give more detail, like specifying a link's destination. And finally, some are just standalone commands. They don't contain anything at all. This slide makes that difference super clear. So on the left, you see the title tags. They act like a container, telling the browser that the words HTML course are the title of the page. Simple enough. But on the right, you've got the BR tag. It's just a single, one-and-done command that says insert a line break right here. That's it.
But, the web didn't stay simple for long. It exploded from just text documents into these incredibly complex applications. So naturally, that original blueprint had to evolve too. This wasn't just about adding a few new bells and whistles. It was a total revolution just to keep up with what we wanted the web to do.
You can kind of see the whole journey right here. It all started with SGML, this big, complex parent system. From that, we got HTML, the simple language of the early web. Then came XML, which introduced a really powerful new idea. That led to XHTML, which was like a much stricter hybrid of the two. And finally, all of that brought us to HTML5, the modern, powerful standard we all use today.
Now, the big leap forward, the real game changer, came with XML. Its whole purpose was to separate the what from the how. See, instead of just describing how something should look on a page, XML let developers describe what the data actually was. This was huge. It made information way more portable and a whole lot easier to share between different computer systems.
And all of this culminates in HTML5. It basically took the best ideas from both HTML and XHTML, and then it added a ton of powerful new features directly into the language. I mean, remember back in the day when you had to install clunky plugins like Flash just to watch a video? Yeah, HTML5 made all that stuff obsolete. It's the robust, all-in-one toolkit for the modern web.
Okay, so now that we've got our modern toolkit, let's look at the master plan. Because it turns out every single web page, no matter how complicated it seems, is built on the exact same fundamental structure. It's like the non-negotiable anatomy of any web document.
And this structure really just has three essential parts. First, the doc type. It's just a simple declaration on the very first line that tells the browser, hey, listen up, this is an HTML5 document. Then you have the head, which has a bunch of hidden info, and the body, which holds everything you actually see on your screen.
So that head section is kind of like the information block you'd see on an architect's blueprint. It's stuff that's never visible on the page itself, but it gives the browser critical data, like the title that shows up in your browser tab, links to other files that control the page's style and interactivity, and even info for search engines.
All these different elements are organized in what everyone calls a tree structure. It's pretty intuitive. You've got the main HTML tag, which is the root of the tree. Sprouting from that are the two main branches, the head and the body. And then, off of those branches, you get the leaves, all the individual elements like titles and paragraphs, all nested neatly inside one another.
All right, let's put all these pieces of the puzzle together. We've got the language, we've seen its history, we know the structure. Now let's look at how this blueprint actually constructs the websites we use every single day.
I mean, think about this. Every single time you click a link or type in a web address, this entire process happens in the blink of an eye. Your browser gets the HTML file, it reads the entire blueprint from top to bottom, and it builds the complete interactive page right there on your screen almost instantly.
And that is the most important takeaway here. HTML is the great equalizer of the web. By providing this universal structure, it makes sure that information can be displayed on any computer, in any browser, on any operating system in the world. It's what creates a single, accessible web for absolutely everyone.
So we've just walked through the blueprint that built the web we know and use today, from its really humble beginnings to the absolute powerhouse it's become. And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. As our digital world gets even more complex and interconnected, what do you think the blueprint of tomorrow is going to look like?